Right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. I do not remember the last time I said that. That actually felt really nice. We're going to take a look at SoundHound, we're going to take a look at BBAI, and we're going to take a look at DXYZ today, all right? And before I get into the tickers, I don't know if you saw the YouTube live yesterday or not, but there is a tech theme across these three, right? And when you look at NASDAQ, oh man, look at this thing, okay? I was really loving the Friday candle. You gap up on a Monday, you hit almost a full percentage gain. I know it looks like a small candle, but that gap up screams volumes. And I mean, point 0.8's a lot, okay? It really is, especially for an indice. So this thing is getting closer to the all-time highs line. I still think we're going to get over it because it's a very low 63 with a very nice positive MACD. When I look at the S&P 500 as well, SPX, again, same thing. I really loved Friday. I'm getting a gap up. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting some noise. I'm getting a gap up on Monday today, and again, a nearly 1%. I know 0.8, 0.79 looks insignificant. Oh man, that's a big number for an indice, all right? So when the indices look good, you gotta start thinking, hey, some of these tickers should start to look good. And again, with tech being the theme here, I'm gonna focus on NASDAQ, I'm gonna focus on S&P. I'm really not gonna look at Dow Jones that much, all right? So SoundHound, I'm loving it, all right? We still need more. We definitely didn't get over the line in terms of the close. Obviously, it happened during the wick at some moments, right? But this is an interesting setup. We need a little bit more to say the least, all right? BBAI had some news. BBAI came off a real big Friday candle. BBAI did the job today, all right? And SoundHound itself didn't have some news, but I'm always a fan of sector strength, right? And hey, BBAI getting a good contract. I'll flash the news in a bit. I know we talked about it on the Discord, but yeah, sector strength is a beautiful thing. I think BBAI and SoundHound are those like prove it up and coming, still smaller AI plays, excuse me, right? So again, I'm liking this one, especially technicals and the news looking good, right? So nice right here. And then the last one is DXYZ. I haven't covered this one in a while, and I mean, you can kind of easily see why, right? We had a real big IPO pop and then a whole mess of nothing for a good while, but there was some big SpaceX news over the weekend, and DXYZ, this ETF, the top holding is it SpaceX? I think it is SpaceX. I'm pretty sure about that. You would think I'd research that before I hit record, right? But again, it was the SpaceX news that brought us here. This is a really interesting doji. That's a real big volume pop. If this doesn't dump, this could be real good, right? If it doesn't get over this line, which is obviously the 100 moving average, nothing quite ready yet though. But I think this is a real good three to look at and really throughout the week, all right? So before we do go any further, though, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. Excuse me, ooh, a little hiccup there. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So let's take a look at SoundHound here, and I'm zoomed out for a reason, all right? I never like it when 3 moving averages, let alone 4 or obviously 5, when they're too tight, all right? And you can see it from basically the middle to the end of July all the way through Friday. We had 4 of the 5 moving averages super tight, and all we were doing was going from the top to the bottom, to the top, 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 to the, you know what I mean? It's this crazy tornado that just throws you up, throws you down, throws you up, throws you down, throws you up, throws you down, all right? And I've said it so many times across these several months, all right? I need something big to make me believe we've escaped the lines, all right? Look, this is a big gap up, okay? And again, if I don't know if you fast forwarded or not, right? Let me just go to QQQ. NASDAQ and obviously QQQ as well gapped up the same way, right? When you look at S&P 500, same little gap up right there, right? So when I'm seeing the indices gap up, when I'm seeing the stock itself gap up, there's a little bit of me that's thinking to itself, all right, nice, the indices are doing their job, right? The ocean is calm and my little SOUN boat can go deeper and deeper into the ocean, right? So look at these golden crosses that we're seeing right here, right? It looks like it really happened probably on Friday, but hey, this Monday was a beautiful confirmation of it. The 8 has now golden crossed the 100. I can't quite tell, but again, it looks like it'll probably happen tomorrow. It does look like the 20 has already golden crossed the 50, and it actually looks like the 8 is about to golden cross the 50, right? So when a small one goes above a bigger one, that's a beautiful thing. It's called a golden cross. That is way better than the opposite, which is called a death cross, right? So I am liking that we're over all 5 moving averages. I'm liking that. Look, that's a big, big candle on Thursday. That's an interesting doji on Friday. That's a nice answer right there. However, I'm giving this 521 line a lot of respect, okay? You know me if you've watched my videos for a while now. I'm not here to draw perfect lines. I'm not here to brag about my lines. I respect these computer generated lines way, way more than my little white ones, right? However, this is a good line. All right, and I can tell it's a good line because we've gotten so many tests on it, right? And even today, look, I'll be real honest with you. I think we were a little greedy. 550. Give me a sec. Ah, I, give me a sec. We were talking about SoundHound levels. Come on. Ah, you would think I would like practice some of this. Okay, I'm sorry. Whatever. Listen, I promise you, some of this wick actually did fake me out. I legitimately thought we were gonna close over 520 today. I really, really did, and I think the fact that we closed a couple pennies under is a really interesting slap in my face, real quick. But again, that's why we wait for the close, right? It matters for a reason. Okay. Again, what am I expecting for tomorrow? Honestly, I'm expecting this 520 to break. What I really want, look, this is the bare minimum, is this 540 line. What I really want is to get into here. Oh man, look at that. That's basically what we wicked today. So the big candle to the left is clearly this guy right here, right? You can say these two are bigger, and hey, we are actually still under this one, right? But I think I'm getting a little aggressive and I'm starting to look at this one right now. I want to break into this 540, because if I'm in this 540, green, 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 red, 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 nothing, 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 it's going to start making me believe we're going to start climbing. And again, as I zoom out, my 520 to basically 780 is just green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 nothing, 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 right? So there's a lot of goodness right here, right? I don't think I'm going to draw it, but I think there's something around here, right? Like that's about 50% of this candle. You can see we actually have a couple little wick moments right here. So maybe 650 is an interesting something to look at. But yeah, I'm really just seeing this up and down, up and down, up and down. And again, as I zoom out even more, that's what happened here as well. Red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 nothing, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, green, green. Like this is a fast, fast, fast 50% channel, right? And I mean, makes sense that maybe around that 25%, roughly half of that channel, there's something, but oof, make me believe we've broken 520 on top of the fact that we have a good MACD that is in the positive. I'm seeing that same green over red divergence. Look at that volume, right? Number one, it's a decent upscale from that, right? I don't know why I said upscale, but that's a nice little growth right there. Obviously, between the 3 days is beautiful, right? 2 of the 3 days has been well over the 50-day. I'm liking this over the lines. I'm liking the NASDAQ. And again, I'm about to talk about BBAI. BBAI actually had some real news. I'll at least flash it here. Big Bear, Mr. Oh, maybe it was just BBAI. I know it. Come on. Look at that. We were talking about it before the news. I know for a fact it was in the morning too. You would think I would practice things before hitting record. My goodness. Right here. Oh, single. Okay. It was awarded a 5-year, 165 million US Army contract. All right. For little baby Big Bear AI, that's some monster news, right? So a little bit of sector love. And I talked about it on the live yesterday. NVIDIA is over our golden line. So hey, if NVIDIA looks good, I gotta believe AI is gonna look good. If BBAI has some news, and you got the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 looking good, SoundHound, I'm liking it. All right. So did I look at the weekly? I don't think I looked at the weekly much, but hey, look at this weekly. We're over all the moving averages. There is no 200 now. This looks a little weird to me. I really have no idea why the RSI is coming down, even though it kind of seems like we're taking off. Again, I'm not here pretending I understand the math behind this stuff, right? So interesting little outlier right there. Again, it's still only Monday, right? So I don't know if Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to kind of like influence this a little bit, but that's a little odd to me. And I think I expected down here to look better, but hey, I live and die by the lines up here. This is just a little bit extra, right? So, um, cool. Yeah, that's SoundHound. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into BBAI. Okay, cool. Oh man, and again, I flashed the news moments ago. I also really want, like, it's the 14th today. We've been talking about, it was this one. On the 7th is when eyes kind of started picking up on this, and you can see the 7th, it's the same story with SoundHound, right? With SoundHound, exact same view. You have 4 moving averages, super tight. With BBAI, super tight, 4 moving averages, just going from the bottom to the top to the bottom to the top to the bottom to the top. All of a sudden, news starts to do some stuff, especially today, right? Friday itself was a big candle. Friday takes out my resistance line. Look at the box over there. The high of the day was 161. The close of the day was 161. People were buying and buying and buying and buying and buying on Friday until they said, "Hey, we're done. Come back Monday if you want more." Hey, looky, they came back Monday and wanted more, right? So where are we right now? We are nicely over the 200. We're nicely over a resistance line. We're still only at a 70 RSI, right? So this is looking good. Again, the news seems legit on 2 levels to me. The first, and really the biggest part of it, it's a US Army contract. All right. Listen, there are no deeper pockets than the government. Okay, the government will keep printing money and keep printing money. They are never going to run out. Obviously, there's inflation stuff and like things well beyond my dumb head, right? But the point really is, if you can get into a US anything sort of defense, army, this, that contract, oh my gosh, that's a glass ceiling that's potentially broken and ready to go. You know what I mean? So close that. Let's get rid of the searches. Yeah, that's I love the fact that they are playing in this space right there. Number 2, look, this is a big boy, big girl number right there. All right, there are times when we get headlines about like a $2 million contract and this and that. Hey, look, for a regular dude like me who's talking into this really cheap microphone right now, like $2 million is a lot to me, but like 165 million is a lot for just about any company. For real. Even in NVIDIA, that would be a big headline right there. I scored a $165 million contract. Yeah, for sure. Cool. Right? Like, that's a big, bad, awesome. And again, I think just a little third one, it's a long-term contract, right? Like, they should be here for a bit. And I mean, the market clearly loved it, right? So as I zoom out, look at what we're looking at. This could be a real fast channel up to 250. Nothing. Green, red, green, red, green, red, right? Like this is a nice little channel here, right? MACD, RSI looks nice. It's all about volume coming into tomorrow, okay? The last thing I want, right? Let's just talk about, there's someone at my door, I think. Give me a second. Who's meowing? Come on in real quick. There you go. Sorry about that. My kitty's at the door. Look, we've seen it before where BBAI got a nice little pop and then a horrible dump that like stayed under, right? So I don't want to see that again. The one I think nice thing to say is that's a crazy pop. This is for sure a crazy pop too. I'm not pretending it's not, but that's not as drastic a rise, right? So hey, maybe it's realistic. 17. So I think 17 million is my bare bottom minimum for volume. In a 7 hour trading day, I need about 2.5 million, basically 5 million shares by the second hour. Okay. If we can hold at least that, that would be great. Clearly, I want more and more and more than five in the first 2 hours, right? But if we're under 5 million shares in those first 2 hours, I think I would start to get a little bit worried. And what does a little bit worried mean? I actually think yeah, it might be a fall all the way down to 175. Normally, I would put my first little like mark around 50%, but look at this 200 moving average, right? We haven't broken it. We haven't broken it. Maybe we did, but we haven't confirmed yet, right? So I could see the fail coming back all the way down here. Otherwise, where are you at? Yeah, 209 is next, right? 209, then maybe 218, and then a 250 from there. So I love the technicals. I love the news. I obviously like technical analysis more than fundamental, but believe me, when the technical analysis and the fundamental analysis are both happy, obviously I'm even happier, right? So make sure we don't buy the rumor, sell the news. Make sure the volume holds. That's essentially what those two mean. If it doesn't, like I said, we're coming back to the 200. Otherwise, man, this might be really hard to stop 250. Okay. Again, one more time, just in case you fast forwarded. QQQ looks really good. NASDAQ is not there yet, but it looks like it's about to get to and break all-time highs just like it did down here not that long ago. You know what I mean? So NASDAQ looks beautiful. S&P 500 is already in all-time highs, right? So, man, there's a lot to like in tech. There's a lot more to like in AI. I'm liking BBAI as well. All right. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Last one I want to look at is DXYZ. Oof, this is an interesting candle right here. And I believe this is basically the last thing I said. No, it was Marvell. Hey, take a look at Marvell. Someone called it out on Twitter. Marvell looks very legit, actually. So DXYZ, it's at an interesting place right here, all right? And a couple things are just jumping out, right? Number one, that's an interesting doji to say the least, right? Number two, that's a pretty big volume in the first real good volume since essentially these I mean obviously since these last ones, right? So interesting little moment right here. I just need to get a little bit more, all right? So hey, really quickly, if you can subscribe, if you can share, it does wonders with the algorithms, okay? So couple things. There was some big headlines about SpaceX. There was some launch. I actually saw someone put something in the MEM. Yeah, SpaceX catches some sort of rocket ship. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the video, but I saw a whole mess of pictures of this like rocket thing, and I'm assuming it like lands nicely in there, right? So much cool science, believe me, smarter than anything I could ever imagine ever doing, right? So why does that matter? Because I am like 95% confident that the biggest holding of DXYZ is SpaceX. SpaceX is obviously a privately held company, but you got to know that there are a lot of outside money that's invested in it, right? So this one happens to have a piece of that. So I have a line right here at 1240 essentially. And normally I would delete the line because it's close enough to the 100 moving average. And again, I always respect these computer generated lines more than my simple human clicks, right? The thing is though, that's a strong line because that's basically the IPO open right there, right? You know I'm not going to do anything on a red candle. That's kind of the first good one, right? There's probably a line to be drawn right there. I'll draw that. I actually will as I'm looking at it. But again, I can't delete this line because it is an important line. All right, so we have two important lines right there. Again, I'm saying this for a reason. Normally I would say nah, ignore this, just get over this, and it's all good. Because again, I do like these lines more than mine. I sincerely believe this is a good and important line, and that makes this a cluster right here. Okay, this is not going to be easy to break. There clearly were people today that believed we were not excuse me, not only going to break it, we were going to smash it up here, right? There were others that thought, no, 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 we actually deserve to be back under the 50. And hey, don't forget, on Friday, we were actually under them all. And we were knocking on the door of all time lows, right? Like, this is basically the all time low line right here for me, right? It's on this candle. I'll make that red right there, right? Like that's my death line right there. So this was a stock that was sitting in a very ugly place on Friday. All of a sudden we get some headlines and hey, some people were like, look, I'll tell you this much. Again, I'm sitting here trying to be impartial. They're not doing this again tomorrow. There's no other like rocket catch, right? So is this gonna keep going? Like, look, dude, this guy, it was amazing to watch, right? Dude, I gotta believe it was. Like, the science seems really cool there, right? But are people gonna still talk about it tomorrow, right? Like, what's next? Me, like, you gotta wonder, is volume gonna hold? Or is it gonna dump all the way back down to sub million where it's literally been for, I mean, my goodness, most of it, right? Like, this is the million line. We've only gotten over the million line what looks like 3 times since this big IPO pop. You know what I mean? So it's not an easy thing for the stock to get that, right? So we're looking at a couple things right now. I need this, and you can kind of say this is roughly where the wick was. I need this to close at 1316. I think that's my alert line. I would like to know that. Look, for some people, the risk reward tolerance, I could see it being 1270. I could. I think 1270. I actually might even set a 1271 line. Let's see what happens at 1271. I'd be interested. Again, neither alert and none of my alerts are an immediate buy notification, right? But they're definitely a hey, come check out the charts and see what it's doing, right? To me, this is a real big doji. This is a real loud moment of uncertainty where, again, people thought we were going to fly. People thought, no, this was a one-off outlier and this thing deserves to keep dying, right? So tomorrow should answer it. And again, we're either coming up here and making me believe we've taken the 100 and there's more, or we're going right back down to under the lines, right? So this $10 line, this death line, as scary as that sounds, right? That's the only good green candle in this little space. That's a strong support. And I think you can see it's been echoed by literally 5 dojis in a row, right? Last week was just a week of straight dojis, right? So it's an interesting moment here. It really is in an interesting place here. But again, I'm not here for interesting. I'm here for confirmation and sustainability, right? So I have eyes here. For sure I have eyes here. But I'm not ready to make a move until I know what seems sustainable, right? So look, I obviously see the good MACD and RSI divergence. I see the green over red. If this thing comes back down, those are going to come back down. You know what I mean? So I need more, but yeah, this is pretty, right? When you look at the weekly, it's actually the exact same story. Obviously, today's still Monday, right? So there's a lot more that this candle could do. There are only 2 moving averages on the weekly. We are testing a break of getting over them and flying. That's the same thing with the daily, right? There is no purple line. We're trying to get over all 5, all 4 on the daily, all 2 on the weekly, over all and fly on both is the goal. That's why that's such a big doji, right? Like my next real line is at 17 and I just drew this one. I actually was expecting 25 after it, right? So even 12 to 17 is a big move. It's not quite 50%, but damn, that's a good percentage to say the least, right? So yeah, let me know what you think about this rocket landing. Oh, this one right here. Let me know if you think the news is going to sustain. Otherwise, buy the rumor, sell the news might have been this. And hey, some people caught that 21% pop. It might dump. It really could. To me, this is so 50-50, right? Even if I was to be using my personal, the 1 and the 2, I still would say this is super 50-50. You know what I mean? So Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Even if you disagree, I appreciate you so, so much.